Whispers of Wisdom, where we journey together through ancient wisdom and hidden practices, seeking what lies beyond.
When you say something is flowering, in general, when you reach Vanaprastha or, the so-called the menopausal years, your ovaries are shutting down, you're not going to bleed anymore. And
you're not going to
bleed anymore. And then there's something attached with bleeding and fertility and how that is so feminine and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And women are afraid to hit the menopausal age. They feel like something is declining.
Something is changing.
Something is changing. And you said flowering. So
yes,
that intrigues me a lot.
The attachment to the body. Okay, so, wow. You're okay, I'm going to focus on responding to this one.
No, whatever flows through you,
yes, of course it will. Yes. But this is going to reach people, and well, let's be a little gentle about this.
Now just be you, really.
Yeah.
I would love for you to just
have a conversation with Sapna on the dining table.
Don't be gentle.
Laughter, I think, in so many ways lightens the whole thing. Okay, so let's get here. Spiritual sciences or spiritual paths tell you that you're not your body and you're not your mind. We are our bodies and we are our minds.
Okay.
Yeah, when you say you're not your body, it's not about neglecting your body, and it's not about neglecting the thought. There is a slight, there is a subtlety to that statement. When you say I'm not your body, you can't, because the spiritual experience, the anubhava of whatever one experiences, where are you experiencing it?
Through the body. Yeah.
Yeah, which is why the sadhana is a process of cleansing the body, so that. Right now we could possibly have an experience, but if we're not ready to receive it, then that experience is just going to, whisk away. So the constantly staying in sadhana is the experience. Now, just because a certain function of the body is going to stop, are you going to stop breathing? Is your cellular structure going to, stop doing its thing? Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it going to stop responding to the food that you eat or the other input through the koshas that you take? Is it? No. And so the body is changing at a very deep, subtle level. And we can either bring fear and anxiety into that change because of the programming of the world saying that women post childbearing years are futile to society. Yeah. Or we can then decide that we are not compelled anymore by the role of motherhood, or we're not compelled anymore by the period cycles if you have chosen not to have children. Yeah. And that it is, and we honor that. We honor the fact that the bleeding every single month has now ceased, and if energy is always circular, this energy has to morph into something else.
Wow.
No?
Yeah. So during your bleeding, they say you are in sync with the moon cycle.
Correct.
As well. Now when it comes to an end, and you said there's something deeper, it's transforming into something else.
Yeah, so all I'm saying is that the energy is transmutable. Energy is always the same amount. The ocean is always abundant.
Beautiful.
Yeah?
Right.
So the energy is shifting. Now, where is that energy shifting? It's shifting deep in your body. It's shifting in your energy spaces. Right? It's shifting in the thoughts of your mind. So if you're going to go on to a namavali saying that my life is over, I'm going to do this and this is going to happen to me, that is going to happen to you.
Wow.
But if you understand that where my body is, and if you have prepared your body and your entire being into this phase, because it's a natural process of life.
Yes.
Yeah. Then you will be able to navigate this. And there comes a point where when we are not compelled by the cycles every single month, there is an incredible amount of freedom. Okay. And today, there are so many wise women that have helped me through this journey by just attending their courses, by understanding it through the lens of Ayurveda, understanding it through the lens of even modern medicine, for example,
Right.
and seeing where it comes in. But it's about care of the body. The minute you recognize that I am shifting, what do I need to do? What are the supplements that I need to take?
Yeah.
What is how did my family and their lineage of women experience this?
Right. So either there's fear about hitting puberty,
Yes.
and then there's fear about hitting menopause. So if you can share some wisdom around for women who are in the perimenopausal years, who've just begun the journey, a couple of things to be aware of, and how do you befriend your body around this time? What did you do? Like, what was your journey like?
To befriend my body? Okay, I will. When I was in my 20s, and because I was in the performing arts, primarily, there was this notion that women had to look a certain type also.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there was this, you had to be slim, and again, like all of this notion. And I attended a workshop where for the first time I realized that my brain and my body were just one. There was no difference between those two. The body has wisdom, it has memory. You have a gut brain and you have a heart brain.
Yeah.
But we generally tend to think the brain is only in the head.
Yeah.
But you feel, right? Like you feel good around certain energies. You feel like I shouldn't be going there.
Right.
Right? Like just that instinct. Remember, like I'll give you an example. I got onto a bus many, many years ago in the initial stages of my work. And I had to get to Delhi from Jaipur to come back to Bangalore. And it was in the night. And I got onto the bus and it was just a bunch of men and just me. And I sat in the bus. And in 5 minutes, I just jumped up, got my luggage off. And I went and I yelled at the guy. I said, how could you give me a ticket? Because I'm the only woman traveling on the bus. Right? Instinct.
That was your instinct.
It was just instinct. I felt it in my gut. And I said, I'm not putting myself through this.
Yeah.
Right? Like in the middle of nowhere through everything. And everybody, all men and women. And I don't want to make this a gender thing, right? It's not about men and women. I think there are equally good men and
100%.
women on the planet. Otherwise, we'd have a very fractured planet. Right now, we're hopefully a fracture in terms of repair.
And sons and fathers and lovers and beautiful people.
Beautiful people. So I'm definitely not on that area that it's not feminism in that sense.
Yeah. Right.
But I think we need feminism to fight for our rights. But I think there are male feminists as much as there are female misogynists. So let's not like blanket it or paint it with a brush.
Yeah. Yeah, so the journey
so the
with
body, so there is a gut instinct and there is a heart instinct, and you have to build a spiritual muscle. You have to continuously do the work to be able to respond to it. Like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Do I ever get asked, how do you feel about this? What does your heart say about this? Like, if there is dissonance in my mind, but is the dissonance only in my mind, or is I'm not feeling okay about this, or my heart tells me that is not the relationship that I must explore.
Right.
Like, the body is so wise. You just know.
And we constantly spend years of our life fighting with it.
Yes.
Right? And
yes.
in our early 40s or late 40s, we somewhat settle into it and say, okay, right. And then another milestone will hit you. And then you're fighting again. Yeah,
because you're constantly changing. But this expectation, that I must look a certain way and I must behave a certain way. And these are the demands. Why?
So you're saying one of the things is that it's okay. Just allow the body intelligence to...
Let the body's intelligence and innate wisdom guide you.
Let it guide you.
And then to do that, make friends with the body. Do somatic work. Yeah. If you have trauma or pain from childhood or things that you don't like about you, if you're holding on to memory,
right.
Because memory is like having tea with the past that doesn't exist. You're having tea with an illusion, right? Like, because I'm thinking all the time, oh, that happened to me when I was 10 years old, and I've been there. That's why I can talk about it.
Right.
Yeah. So So just let it go. So just see if the pain is being held here or held in a different part of your body. Work it out. Love your body. Practice gratitude. The fact that we wake up every day and go to sleep every day and have all these life experiences is because we're in this body.
Yeah.
We don't practice enough gratitude for the body. We take it for granted that it will function. It will do its thing. No.
Wow. You say it with so much ease because I know you're living it.
Yeah, because also
But
I have...
just the thought of it is like, oh my God, listen to your body, allow it is quite something for me, and I'm sure
You know,
a lot of
70% of
women
our
who are
human
listening.
body is water. And water is the greatest receptor. See how the ocean responds to the moon, right? With the tide cycles. So our human body is water. So every kind of input that we put into the body, not just with speech, right? Conscious speech, but like every kind of input that we take in from the world, apart from food, you know, white noise, what we choose to read, who we choose to interact with. It's all going to make a difference to your water. 70% of the body is water. Just relate it like that. The Pancha Mahabhutas exist outside of us as much as they exist inside
of us. So befriend your body, build the spiritual muscle.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's sadhana.
And it's not always about what I think, it's also about how I feel. And
yeah.
then build on to that stage of your vanaprastha, and I think
and have lots of less stress. We take on so much stress, you know.
But we don't choose it, it just comes, Deepti.
Yeah, I mean, of course it comes. But
How do you deal
respond?
with it?
How do you respond to the stress?
Yeah.
Okay, but you need to step back. I think you need to sleep a lot more.
And say no to a lot of people.
Yeah, and learn to say no. Like you say, okay.
And then you'll have no friends.
That's okay.
And no
I mean,
relationships.
right through my, this other myth that you're never going to make friends in your adult life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just, again, these are conditioned thoughts. We met well into my adult life.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for that time that I just saw the Shri Chakra and said, okay, here, you know what? I want to sit with you. I didn't know you.
Yeah.
But by the ocean.
Yeah. We're adult
you can't
friends.
limit. Yeah, we're adult friends, just to answer that question.
Yeah.
And if you're open, if your heart is open, and if you just want to live a life of splendor and gratitude and beauty, which is all aspects of of Devi Lalita, then be that person in your capacity. And yes, during your menopausal years, please reduce the amount of stress. It's going to affect you because I'm not here to be able to talk about it in a technical manner.
Sure.
So, but cortisol is definitely going to affect you. The flight or fight syndrome, you need to step away from that.
Yeah.
Let life be.
Right.
Yeah, because you cannot fight from an exhausted body.
Wow, that is a deep wisdom. You can't fight from an exhausted body.
No, you can't.
Because life is going to happen anyways.
It's going to happen anyway.
And
change the weapon that you use during those years. We're wielding weapons every single day. Yeah, it can be a knife through butter.
Yeah. My therapist said, Sapna, you've arrived in life, you put your armor down.
Yeah. Put your armor down.
You are going into everyday life with an armor, like you're entering a battlefield and your body is just going into stress. And then
you don't need to.
The
minute you're gentler on yourself, the world will respond to you more gently.
And which rasa influences this beautiful art to flow through you, the jewelry design? And you said it's inspired by the divine feminine.
Yes. Design, I think, is a life in the pursuit of beauty, especially because I create jewelry. And it's, I think, the inspiration of the divine feminine, I mean, that definition only emerged about 2 years ago because we looked at all the work that had happened over the last 5 to 7 years.
Okay.
And I think possibly because of the guidance towards Devi Sadhana, that a lot of the work was just influenced by the study that I was doing, because we're one entity. It's like I couldn't just randomly design something and then practice something else, right? So I just think it was just guided, and then suddenly we looked at this body of work that had emerged, and I was like, oh wow, everything is from the divine feminine, and and Devi worship, and I was
then
like,
you can see how much it is in tune with nature, whether it is the motives of the stars and the sun, or the birds like the parrots and the trees and the animals or anything.
because she is the fire energy that's moving through everything. She is that fire of life, no? So she is available to us to access in every single element, because if Shiva is Purusha and she is Prakriti in her movement, the opening verse of the Saundarya Lahari teaches us that, no? And the 1,000 names of the Lalita Sahasranama, the attributes of the divine feminine. Yeah, there is nothing that is not her.
Yeah.
And everything is her. But then you as a human being just have to pick up what resonates with you and allow what doesn't resonate with you to rest.
Right.
Yeah, don't like always kind of say that my way is the right way. There is no right way. There is no right and wrong, honestly. It's just that if your choices make you happy and the energy that you give out, allows you to have a life which is like a beautiful garden.
Right.
I think that's good.
No, you're saying such beautiful things, and some of the most profound things that I've heard are from very wise women like you. And I always keep wondering, why aren't these women teaching, or why aren't the women, going into the gurudom and like, what do you think about it? It's a real question. What do you think about it?
I am so. Should I even say these things? Okay, you know what? I'm going to say them, and you can.
No, we're not editing it.
Yeah, you're not editing yet. So, So, these conversations must also be had in a certain sense of being light.
Of course.
Yeah. Why are you saying that there have been no women gurus? I mean, there's Ananda Mahima.
Yeah, few, of course.
Few, and possibly a lot of unknown teachers, which in the realm of Guhya, I can't talk about. There are a few unknown teachers. Why aren't women stepping up? Because you can't step up to be a teacher. It has to emerge. People have to resonate with that. I think in today's world, there will come a time during the sadhana where the pain, at least the reason I've agreed to do this podcast, and also because it's you, and there is a absolute heart-opening comfort, and we have the same resonance with our Devi sadhana. The pain, the pressure of holding it in and not sharing it and the fear is greater than the fear of trying to just keep back. Like, okay, there's one fear of, okay, I'm not going to talk about it, but then because you're not talking about it, there is this pain. The fear of that causes this
pregnant feeling.
This pregnant feeling in the body that hey, you should talk about this. And possibly like this is one of the reasons I also write in a way, is
your
because
blogs and articles,
to be able to just express what needs to be expressed, because the Devi will guide even that. She is present even in the Vakya. She is Vak. Saraswati is Vak.
Yes.
And maybe there is, and maybe that's why. Also, the spiritual journey is not absolutely enabled to the feminine spirit.
I have to take that in. The spiritual
journey, as we understand it, is not completely enabled to the female feminine journey. There is a societal expectation of women, and there is a demand on the spiritual journey. And in this dance between the societal expectation of women and this yearning that so many women have to walk the path, there is chaos. There is the tandav constantly going on. It takes a certain amount of courage to be able to say, no, I choose this. No matter what, I'll choose this. No matter what, I will fall flat on my face. I choose this. No matter what, I will make sure that when I walk my path, other people in my immediate inner circle, family, will not get affected by it. A very conscious choice for women. Right? Like, we are endowed with so much responsibility as women in whatever context of family that we may have. And I think the presence of great teachers.
The presence of great teachers.
This is not an individual journey. I'm not saying anything that is really like, not been expressed before maybe, but the teacher. The teacher has to recognize you and has to put you through the fire constantly. And you need to have that resilience and the will to go through it.
Whispers of Wisdom, where we journey together through ancient wisdom and hidden practices, seeking what lies beyond.